Hello, welcome back, teachers. This is an introduction to the instructional methodology used in the design of ABC Time curriculum and online classes. In this training series, which focuses on methodology, teachers learn about instructional methods for helping English learners develop language skills. This is the third video in the series, and here we examine three areas: situationalized presentation, TPR, and multiple intelligences. This video series provides teachers with just a brief overview of each method and examples of how the method is demonstrated in the design of the classes, as well as examples of how teachers can apply instructional strategies that support the methodologies. In this third video in the series, we will discuss situationalized presentation, TPR, which stands for Total Physical Response, and multiple intelligences. Situationalized presentation is an instructional method in which a situation is presented to the class and vocabulary and sentences are introduced to address the situation or be used in the situation. So, number one, to arouse interest, the teacher presents a specific situation in which the target language is used. 2, the target language and sentence patterns are taught. After the teacher presents the target language and sentence patterns, the teacher provides practice opportunities. Then the teacher asks concept questions to check comprehension. And finally, students demonstrate ability to use the language by using it in the situation or something like it. As with the other systems such as PPP, language is presented, students practice, and then demonstrate their ability, often through role playing. Here's a specific example of ways ABC Time curriculum uses situationalized presentation. The picture in the upper left corner is the introductory page to an entire unit of lessons completed over a several-week period. The theme is My School. Vocabulary and sentence structures address language that would be used in a classroom or at a school. That's the situation. The teacher presents the vocabulary and students practice using it by identifying pictures after the teacher repeats vocabulary words. Students also learn sentence structures useful in the situation, such as the ability to say where objects are located. So in this lesson, students are taught the sentence structures: the such and such, the scissors are in the basket, or the hoop is in the basket, and the book is on the shelf. Students often enjoy situationalized presentation because it immediately helps them to understand where the language can be used. Situationalized presentation also promotes interest and engagement, especially when the situations match student interest areas. To help students fully benefit from situationalized presentation, teachers should emphasize the situation, such as being at school or in the classroom. Teachers should make sure students can pronounce and comprehend words and sentences and use sentence patterns correctly. One way to help students comprehend meaning of vocabulary is to use something called TPR. TPR stands for Total Physical Response and involves using the body to convey meaning. This could be through hand, face, or body gestures or movements. The picture here depicts a teacher using TPR or whole body and face movements to teach students meanings of words. Motions are often easy to teach using TPR. For example, to teach movements such as clapping, the teacher can clap and ask students to mimic the action. To teach roll, the teacher can roll his or her arms. Other vocabulary may require more careful thought to determine a face, body, or hand gesture that would convey meaning. For example, what hand or body movement might you use to depict a tree? Would you hold your hands up and together over your head in a triangle shape like a pine tree? Would you hold your arms up and out like branches on a tree? Whatever you choose, to use TPR effectively when teaching, it is important to plan the motions before class and consistently use the same motion each time the word is used. Also, students should be encouraged to imitate the motion. This will help in both understanding and retention. Later, it is often possible to show the motion to the students, and the students will remember the word just by seeing the motion. TPR is an important learning tool in language learning classes, so plan to use it during each class. One reason TPR is such a beneficial learning tool is because it appeals to many different learner types, such as hands-on learners and visual learners. The final topic of this series addresses multiple intelligences, originally outlined by Howard Gardner as a means of examining the various tendencies of learners to prefer certain ways of learning, based on how they prefer to do things. Gardner identified 7 types, and later an 8th was added. The types are interpersonal. Interpersonal intelligence types work well with others. They benefit from a lot of group interaction. Intrapersonal. Intrapersonal intelligence types seek to understand self. They benefit from opportunities to reflect on learning. Linguistic. Linguistic intelligence types learn well using language, whether it be through listening to it, reading it, speaking it, or writing it. Logical mathematical. These intelligence types like to examine reasons for things. They look at sequences. They're very good with numbers. Spatial. Spatial intelligence types are very visual and benefit from visual elements such as videos and pictures. Musical. Musical intelligence types like sound and rhythm and really benefit when this is incorporated into learning events. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence types like to engage in actions and do things while learning. They like to move. And the 8th type is the naturalistic intelligence type. These individuals are drawn to nature and like examining natural elements or learning in natural environments. There are many more learning tendencies in each of these types, so doing some research on each type will help you to expand your understanding of these areas and help you to notice what areas your learners or your students manifest in your classes. This is worthwhile because understanding these learner types can help us identify ways to appeal to our students when we notice they seem to exhibit tendencies in one or more of the areas shown here. Familiarizing ourselves with multiple intelligence types helps us to understand our students' learning needs and gives us ideas that can help us to adjust instruction to capitalize on our students' learning tendencies. For example, in one class I have 2 students who are very different types of learners. One student always seemed to hesitate to engage in TPR with the class. The other student loves TPR, loves to move. The first student mentioned was asked to draw items shown on the class page on a sheet of paper. He drew very quickly and he drew very well. The other student that likes TPR had to be encouraged several times to draw, and when he did, it was hard to identify what he drew. These students manifested different intelligence types. Based on the limited example provided, what categories do you feel they fit into? Perhaps you were thinking the first student manifests spatial intelligence and does well with pictures. The second student is more bodily kinesthetic. While all students need to develop their skills in various areas, it is useful for teachers to know students' tendencies. With this information, I can make decisions about some class activities. For example, if I ask the first student to draw on the board, the second student could act out the vocabulary word or show the TPR attached to it. Both students are therefore simultaneously engaged in class activities that cater to their learning strengths. Well, this concludes the series on teaching methodologies. Here are some links that may help you to learn more about situationalized presentation, TPR, and multiple intelligences. I hope these videos have helped you to understand more about the ABC Time curriculum and have given you some great ideas to enhance teaching. Thanks for your attention. Happy teaching!